Have you ever craved biryani at midnight and you start opening your favorite food delivery apps like Swiggy or Zomato and then just look for your favorite biryani in the city and then just order it? Within like few taps, that's it. And then your rider is on his way to collect the food from the restaurant, and there you have your biryani at any point of time. And the most famous apps that we all use are Swiggy and Zomato, obviously. And they might actually seem very similar when we see from a customer point of view. Like, we use Swiggy and Zomato to order food or groceries and stuff like that, and they'll get delivered to us at in a very convenient way. But are they actually similar? No, they're not. So, what makes Swiggy and Zomato different? So, today we're going to focus on the technical architecture between Swiggy and Zomato that makes them completely different on how they operate on the business level, and how this technical architecture impact their business success. So, we're going to be peeling back the layers of Swiggy and Zomato, and not just as simple applications, but we're going to see them as complex high performance systems and see how it shapes their costs, efficiency, and also their dominance in the food delivery industry. So let's get started. So we have Swiggy and Zomato. The key differences we're going to talk in the very basic thing. Swiggy is a super app basically. Okay, let me just. Yep, Swiggy is a super app. So super app in the sense follows a multi-tenant system. Like, basically, like Swiggy is one application. In that application itself, you have Instamart, you have your food delivery, and you have Genie. And then Zomato are standalone applications, and they have like specialized apps. So Zomato is a separate application for food delivery, Blinkit is a separate application for quick commerce, and District is a completely separate application. So this is like the key architectural difference between Swiggy and Zomato that is going to be there, and we're going to dive deeper, but we're not going to get into every single point in the architecture because it's going to take a lot of time. We're just going to focus on few key differences in the architecture that actually impact their business point of view. The first one, so we're going to decode this using an issue tree structure, and yeah, we're going to follow something called as algebraic MECE structure. Like, MECE stands for mutually exclusive and completely exhaustive. So profitability, we're going to decode from that point. So profitability is nothing but revenue minus costs, and any company's main objective is to maximize the revenue and minimize the cost to achieve maximum profitability. So we're going to decode what revenue is going to look like for Swiggy and Zomato, and costs are going to look like for Swiggy and Zomato. So let's get started. We'll start with the Swiggy. So this is the basic issue tree structure that is there for Swiggy, and our goal is to maximize revenue and minimize the cost. So we're going to start with the revenue. So basically, we'll just split this into an issue tree and see what are the factors that are being affected. So what is revenue? Basically, it is number of orders times the average order value, right? So what is if the number of orders are more and if the average order value is more, the revenue will be more. So our goal is to maximize revenue. Remember that. So we're going to split the number of orders again. What is number of orders? Like, number of people buying on Swiggy, and that again gets divided into like two things. So people buy more because they're having a good experience on this platform compared to other platforms, and the second one is if the marketing is good. So we're going to decode this good experience again. So the good experience could be like having a greater availability and uptime of the complete system. It's because of faster delivery, ease of usage, like pricing and stuff like that. And before we get into that detail, we'll see what average order value is. So average order value is nothing but the item price times the number of items per order. So if you're ordering one thing, like if you're ordering at a time, we'll order multiple items. The number of items times their price is your average order value. And we can't actually influence the item price because item prices would be fixed, or they would be given by the supplier. Like, it could be grocery supplier, or it could be the restaurant, it could be anyone. But the platform can affect one thing, that is number of items per order. We can make people buy more using like proper psychology and marketing techniques. So how Swiggy is using that, we'll see that. So before that, we'll talk about the good experience. So availability and uptime. We know that Swiggy is a multi-tenant system, and it also uses something called as a microservice architecture. So Swiggy uses microservice architecture. It has around 400 microservices that have been deployed. They all act as individual services without. So for example, payment is a separate service, order mapping is a separate service, and order delivery is a separate service. So these are all separate services that can be scaled individually, and then they don't affect each other's functionality. They're very cost efficient and also logically isolated from each other. And microservice architecture, and it also uses something called as load balancing. So for example, there is like a lot of network traffic coming into the application, like so too many requests. Instead of overwhelming one single server, what load balancing does is it divides the traffic between multiple servers. So this increases the availability and uptime without overwhelming the server. And microservice architecture make sure that each and every application would be individually scalable and stuff like that. Okay, let's see what. Okay, this is a little bit in more detail what's happening. Microservice architecture, it increases scalability, and adding new features would be easy based on the time and development of the service. So yeah, let's see what Zomato is doing over here. So we're gonna split up the same thing again, like revenue, number of orders, people buying, good experience, and we're gonna see the availability and uptime. So Zomato uses something called as, it's a standalone application, so its architecture is modular and monolithic. So that means they're all multiple different things, and they're all modular, and monolithic is like a single architecture. They don't use some microservices because they don't use many microservices. So individual service scalability is like less. So they focus on horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling is like, for example, like you add number of servers, you keep increasing the infrastructure and the resources underneath it to make sure that the availability is more, and that you increase the number of servers instead of balancing the load between the existing servers to keep up with the availability and uptime. So app balancing, it uses app balancing. So this is it. And back to faster delivery. Okay, we'll talk about faster delivery in the cost section. Like we'll do this later. So ease of usage. Yeah. So as we discussed, multi-tenant system, right? Multi-tenant system, it follows. So one application has all the different things. So you don't have to download multiple applications to navigate in multiple places and stuff like that. You have a single application in which you find your Instamart, food delivery, quick commerce, grocery delivery, and Genie. You can use it at the same time on the same place. And adoption of new features. So, okay, we're gonna talk about adoption of new features, how the multi-tenant system uses that. So basically what happens in the adoption of new features is like, let's take an example. Okay, Swiggy has a single architecture. It has your Instamart, it has your food delivery and Genie inside the same thing. And if you want to add a new feature into it, a new service into it, you add it as another tenant, right? You add it as another application. And then what happens is, when you add it as another tenant, the people don't have to again go and download another app. People who are already using Swiggy's Instamart and food delivery service will directly get to know that there is another feature that has been added. So even if they add a new feature, the testing would be very easy, and adopting to that new feature will also be easy. And the new feature will bring in new type of customers for sure. And that new type of customers will also start using the old features, increasing the system of putting people in that loop of buying and selling in one simple application. So the ease of usage and adoption of new features would be very easy because they're on the same platform. And and also, like, we're going to talk about marketing and the costs. So good marketing, lower cost of acquisition and stuff like that. And what's happening in Zomato? So we're going to see that, right? Faster delivery. So we're going to talk about delivery in supply chain, and we're going to focus on ease on usage. So specialized applications, like different applications and different stuff. For few people, different applications is convenient, and for few people, a single application is convenient. It depends on the consumer behavior, basically. And we're going to discuss about this because this makes a key difference in the business aspect. So we're going to discuss about this in the end. And let's go back to here. So basically, what is multi-tenant system, right? So multi-tenant, okay, we can talk about this in the cost again. Average order value. So items, we can't change it, but number of items per order, that is something we can change. So basically, more number of items, the key is like increasing the number of items so that the average order value will increase, and that will contribute to the revenue as well. So cross-selling and upselling is possible through multi-tenant system. Multi-tenant system is having multiple tenants in the same application. We've discussed everything before. So basically, if you're ordering biryani from a restaurant and if you want to order a Coke, you'll go to Instamart directly in the same application and then just couple it with the biryani that you're ordering, right? It's called cross-selling. If you're buying biryani, its algorithm will directly suggest you to buy a Coke from the Instamart because that's the combination that people prefer based on the data. So cross-selling is possible through multi-tenant system in Swiggy, and that would increase the average order value. But in Zomato, cross-selling is not that possible. And we're going to go to the cost now. So the cost is, we have to minimize the cost in every application to make sure that the profitability is more. The less the cost, the better the profits. So there are like 3 different types of costs that we can structure into. The first one is marketing cost, that customer acquisition cost, the money or the price that is required to bring in one customer onto our application is customer acquisition cost. And the second one is operational cost. And the third one is the supply chain cost. So yeah, so marketing cost is, we're going to talk about the customer acquisition cost. That is, it follows a multi-tenant system again. So this architecture is helping over here. So each and every application would only require a single marketing. If you are a customer of Swiggy's food delivery, you are automatically a customer of Swiggy's Instamart and Genie. So you don't have to additionally market those services. But when it comes to Zomato, you have to market Zomato separately and bring in users. Like the customer acquisition cost will be there for Zomato. The customer acquisition cost will be there for District again. The customer acquisition cost would be for Blinkit as well. So different cost of customer acquisition costs should be there, and different marketing has to be used to bring in customer. So it's 3 times more than what Swiggy can do. Swiggy can use their architecture efficiently to reduce their customer acquisition costs. And yeah, operational costs. So we're going to talk about, there are 2 types of operations, resource and infrastructure. So we're using a multi-tenant system, which is also considered as an apartment model. So multiple tenants accessing a single shared infrastructure, which will reduce the cost. So what is this? So this is how an apartment model is like. So this is an apartment, and the back end is like the resources and infrastructure, like different tenants are sharing. The tenants are here Instamart. We have Instamart, we have Genie, we have food. So these are different tenants, different microservices. They're all utilizing the same architecture, infrastructure behind, and same resources as well. So you can build your infrastructure once, the backend resources, and then all the tenants would be using the same thing because it's a super app and a single application. But in Zomato, when you see that, it is a modular and monolithic architecture. So it's more costly, but it has its own positives as well. This is more isolated and secure, logically isolated. So the data between different tenants would not merge with different things and cause an issue. But each and every tenant, each and every application will have an individual resource and infrastructure that would increase the cost, which is it is less cost efficient than what Swiggy is using. And again, yeah, let's go to innovation and scaling. So microservices. Swiggy uses 400 microservices, as we discussed earlier. So it can easily introduce new features, and ease of testing and adoption is better because all the customers will be on the same application. You can introduce new features and you can test them and make sure adoption is easier. And also scalability. So for example, there is a season where orders are getting more. So they're all microservices, so individual services can be scaled separately. So you can scale down on different services that are not being used at that point of time based on the demand that you're getting, and you can scale the other things that are in demand and that require more resources. So you can scale individual services as per the demand at that particular point of time, making it more scalable and more efficient. But in Zomato, you can't do that. You have to scale because it follows a modular monolithic architecture. You have to scale the entire application to scale even a single feature. So this is the key difference. And then, yeah, we're going to talk about supply chain. So this is another innovative thing that Swiggy is doing. So delivery is basically like how so we're going to talk about Zomato over here first. Okay, yeah. So Zomato uses a regular delivery system. You place your order, the rider goes to the restaurant partner, and then he picks up your food and he comes back and delivers it to you. So this is not very efficient. Okay, so what happens is, yeah, and then also the second thing is individual apps, individual delivery. So you need separate delivery partners for Zomato, Blinkit, District, and the delivery costs are higher comparatively. But what innovation did Swiggy bring in this delivery and supply chain? The first thing is hub and spoke model for delivery and efficient system. So this reduces the delivery cost by 20% per order, and that is significant cut down of price and cost. So what is this hub and spoke? So will be, instead of having one delivery partner being assigned to your order, there'll be two delivery partners. So for example, let's take your restaurant is somewhere over here, and yeah, you placed an order, but you're living somewhere over here, let's say, and then two riders will be assigned. The first one who's closer to the restaurant will be assigned to pick up your order, and the second one who's closer to your house is assigned that. So they both meet at a middle point called hub. So he'll pick up your order and he'll come there, and the order will be exchanged, and it'll be given to the second rider, and he'll take it and bring it to your house. So this reduces the cost, and this reduces the time of delivery. The main thing, it reduces delivery time and delivers food faster. And the fission system. So you don't need to have multiple delivery partners for your Instamart service and Genie service and stuff like that. The same person who is picking up your food can also pick up your Instamart from the dark stores and deliver it to you. So you're combining the delivery partners' work and efficiency, increasing the efficiency of delivery. And also, like, it's a multi-tenant system, allows drivers to deliver food and groceries at the same time. And yeah, this is the fission system basically. Cost efficiency, it is possible due to the multi-tenant system that Swiggy is following. For delivery, it's where the game is changing. And we talked about marketing, customer cost of acquisition, and everything. So this is where we are right now. So this is like an in detail thing on how things are being optimized. If you want the notes, you can DM me and I'll send you the notes. The multi-tenant system, cross-selling, operational efficiencies, the microservice architecture, the load balancing, it improves the UX and the customer retention. The delivery algorithm saves the delivery time and the cost. And we're going to go to Zomato. We decoded this entire structure, and then the same thing, like more modular monolithic architecture, like horizontal scaling and elastic scaling and stuff like that. So what we can see is clearly Swiggy has like a better advantage over Zomato to make sure it's more profitable, and many people should use it, right? That's how it should turn out, because it's very innovative, it's very efficient. But what is happening? What is actually happening in the market? Like, how is the market reacting to this? Zomato is more profitable and has a bigger market share than Swiggy. So in 2018, Zomato had 38.8% market share. In 2023, Zomato increased its market share to 58%. But in Swiggy, in 2018, it had a 61.2% market share. In 2023, it declined to 34%. There has been a huge decline in the market share of Swiggy. And also, let's talk about gross order value. Gross order value is like the entire orders. What is the price of the entire order before the taxes and deductions that happen, like restaurant taxes and charges and stuff like that. So Zomato, in the financial year 23, Zomato has a gross order value of $3.2 billion, and Swiggy has $2.6 billion. And we're going to go to net profits and losses for the financial year 2024. Zomato has a 3.5 billion rupees of profit, but Swiggy is having a 23.5 billion of losses, like negative 23.5 billion. But it has been significantly improved from financial year 2022, because Swiggy had like 36.29 billion loss in 2022. It has been decreased to 23.5. It is an improvement, but still, compared to Zomato, it is nothing. Zomato is on profits, that to 3.5 billion rupees in profits. So why is this happening? So Swiggy is technically brilliant, but still it is struggling in the market. Why? So this proves us that just technological innovation is not sufficient to win in the market. You need to have other forces and other decisions that has to be better to drive your success in the market. So it could be your financial discipline, it could be your business and strategy decision, how you're taking decisions, and most importantly, your management and how people are managing your company. So let's see. The first thing is Zomato has first movers advantage. Why Zomato is bigger, like we're going to look into that. Zomato started in 2008. It has a first movers advantage. It built a strong brand from 2008, and it has a very big customer base starting from 2008. But Swiggy started in 2014, so it gives a little bit disadvantage. And the second factor would be Zomato scales very fast, not in terms of technically, but in terms of like supply. It could be their supply chain or it could be their market expansion. They scale very fast. So Zomato tapped into tier 2 and tier 3 cities first, so and their faster expansion into like 750 cities overall in the India, and Swiggy is still in 580 cities yet. And Zomato has an international brand presence in 23 countries, but Swiggy only operates in India. When you see the market expansion, market scalability, Zomato is moving aggressively faster than Swiggy. So, but technically, Swiggy is more scalable, designed to be more scalable, but Zomato is actually scaling very fast. And the third one is quick commerce success. So, quick commerce, Blinkit and Instamart. So, Zomato has actually 526 dark stores, again, improving their scalability in supply chain. And Instamart has 487 dark stores. And also, like when we talk, Swiggy is focusing more on technological innovation. They've built every feature because it's a super app. They have to build it on their own into their own application and architecture. But Zomato, it made some very really good strategic moves by acquisitions. Zomato has more number of business acquisitions compared to Swiggy. Like Zomato didn't go and build its own Blinkit or quick commerce application, but instead it just went and acquired Blinkit. And yeah, like, and according to analysis, we can also see that Zomato's quick commerce scale is like 50% larger than its nearest competitor. So it is making some very good, significant strategic moves with the help of acquisition. But Swiggy is focusing more on innovation in terms of its technical brilliance. And the third and the main important thing is consumer behavior. The first thing is Zomato has built a stronger brand because of its international presence and first movers advantage and everything. So people have been aligned towards Zomato's things from the very beginning before even Swiggy came in. And the second thing is we know that it's easier to have everything in one application, but still, why are we preferring to choose multiple applications? So the super app concept came from China. So we all know apps like WeChat, right? WeChat is a super application in China that has payments, movie tickets, chat, and every single thing. And it is a very big success in China, but the same thing is not working in India. Indian consumers behave differently. So we have WhatsApp for messages. Even WhatsApp and Instagram allows you to have the option of disappearing message, but we still go and use Snapchat for disappearing messages. And for example, Paytm. So Paytm is a super application that has movie tickets, that has payment options, recharges and stuff. But we only use Paytm for most of the time. We use Paytm for recharge and payments, and for movie tickets, we again move to Book My Show, and completely even for reels. I mean, Facebook also has the shopping option, but we still prefer Amazon, but only Facebook for the feed and content. So our Indian market and Indian consumers are more inclined towards specialized applications, having a clear separate goals for each and every application. Installing multiple applications has never been an issue. So this is where Zomato had an advantage, because the Indian consumers behave because of the Indian consumers behavior, like Zomato inclined its strategic positioning towards Indian market instead of focusing on technological innovation. So this, know your customer. So this is the main lesson. What does your customer prefer and which market you are in, and innovate accordingly. But still, Swiggy is significantly improving itself aggressively, and we'll see where it goes in the next few years, because its losses have been declining and it will move towards profit. And also Swiggy is going IPO, and but the public will be investing in Swiggy, and they'll get the funds to scale more rapidly compared to Zomato now. And Zomato also went public first, so it had that advantage. It had to focus more on the profitability side because the public is investing in it. And one more main reason why Swiggy didn't do well is because from April 2023, like significantly the top management team has been leaving Swiggy. So there is like an imbalance in leadership. So every time a new leader gets appointed, the one goes, like there is a lot of delay in decision making. So even that. So for Swiggy to continue innovating in terms of technology, it's very brilliant, but its leadership should be strong to take over the market again, and it should make some good strategic decisions as well. So yeah, this is how Swiggy and Zomato are different and how they're playing differently based on the market conditions and which market, and how their technical architecture is and can impact their business success. We've seen that. So next time you place another order, don't just see them as a simple order, but yeah, now you'll know what is happening behind the scenes as well. So this is the key differences that we're talking about. And yeah, we're going to be having more case studies on different companies and different stuff. So stay tuned, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.